The mark of shame. The twin suns of the planet Nirexa were setting, casting long shadows over the cold white palace. In the highest tower, behind silver glass walls, a girl stood alone. Her name was Sira, a princess by blood, but not treated like one. She was not like the others in the royal family. Her skin was pale blue, smooth and glowing softly. But what made her different, what made her flawed, was the silver scar on her neck. It shimmered like starlight, shaped like a curve and 3 dots. No one else in the kingdom had it. When Sira was born, the palace healers had gasped. The queen had frowned. That queen, Varix, was not her real mother. She was her stepmother, and she ruled the palace with a cold heart. The mark is a sign of weakness, Varix said. She is not pure. From that day, Sira was treated like a mistake. She was not allowed in royal meetings. She could not attend festivals. The servants were ordered to avoid her eyes. Even her own room was in the darkest part of the palace. Still, Sira tried to smile. She studied alone, read books about other planets, and often stared at the stars. She dreamed of flying far away, where no one would call her broken. But dreams were not enough. On the morning of her 16th star cycle, she was taken from her bed before sunrise. Guards did not say a word. They dressed her in plain gray cloth, took away her jewelry and placed a silver ring around her wrist. A tracker. "Where are we going?" Sira asked. No one answered. They pushed her into a dark royal ship and locked the door. Through the window, she saw the palace growing smaller as the ship rose into the sky. Her heart pounded. She wanted to scream, but knew it would not help. After hours of silence, the ship landed on a strange moon, a cold, rocky place with no trees, no animals, no buildings. Only dust and stone. The guards pushed her outside. "This place is not on the star maps," one whispered. "She won't last long here," the other replied. They threw a small pack at her feet, a bottle of water, a slice of dry bread, and a blanket. Then they left. The ship rose again, and Sira watched as the only people she had ever known disappeared into the stars. She stood alone. The wind was sharp and dry. The moon had no sun. The sky was black. And the ground felt like it had never been touched. Sira sat on a flat rock, wrapping the blanket around her shoulders. She didn't cry. She was too tired to cry. Her body ached from hunger, and the cold was already biting into her feet. "This is it," she whispered. "I was thrown away like trash." But as she closed her eyes and leaned against a stone wall to sleep, she felt something strange, a soft vibration in the ground, a deep hum, then a shaking. The sound was growing louder. Something was landing nearby. Sira sat up, her heart racing. She could see lights in the distance, blue and white. A ship? A drone? Maybe the queen had changed her mind? But no. This wasn't a royal ship. This one was shaped differently, sharper, longer, with strange markings on the side. And when it touched the ground, steam burst from the sides and the door slowly opened. A figure stepped out. He was tall, covered in dark gear. A helmet with a clear front showed his face, a face that was not blue, not alien. His skin was light, and his eyes were brown. A human. Sira had seen humans in books, but never thought she would meet one in real life. The human walked slowly toward her, holding a scanner. His eyes widened when he saw her. "You're not from my database," he said in his language. Then, seeing her shiver, he added, "Are you hurt?" Sira didn't answer. She couldn't. She didn't know his words, but his tone was kind. Not cold like the queen, not empty like the guards. He slowly removed his backpack and pulled out a glowing square. It unfolded into a thermal blanket. He placed it around her shoulders. Then he offered her a small food bar and water bottle. Sira looked at the gift, and then at the stranger's face. He wasn't afraid of her scar. He wasn't calling her broken. He didn't even ask why she was here, and for the first time in her life, Someone looked at her not like a mistake, but like a person who deserved to live. The blanket was warm, but Sira was still cold inside. Her body shook, not from the wind, but from the fear she had carried her whole life. Now, sitting beside a strange metal ship with a human offering her food, she didn't know whether to trust or run, but something about him felt different. The man placed the food bar in her hands, then stepped back. He didn't rush her. He didn't speak more strange words. He only waited, with eyes that showed patience, not power. Sira stared at the shiny bar. Her fingers moved, slowly opening the wrapper. She took a small bite, sweet. Her stomach growled, loud and angry. She hadn't realized how hungry she was. She finished the bar in seconds. The human chuckled softly and offered another. She took it with a small nod. "My name is Adam," he said, pointing to his chest. Then he pointed to her. "You?" Sira hesitated. No one had asked her name in years. Back in the palace, even the servants called her the flawed one. "Sira," she whispered. Adam smiled. "Sira, that's nice." His smile wasn't fake. It wasn't the kind nobles wore at boring royal parties. His smile was real and warm, like sunlight. He tapped a small black device on his wrist. A screen lit up and strange letters flew across it. "Translating," he said, showing her the screen. It beeped, then spoke in her language. "Hello, I am Adam. You are not safe here." Sira blinked. The machine spoke perfectly. She nodded. Slowly, Adam crouched beside her and tapped the ground with his finger. "This moon is off limits. No maps, no life signs. I came here by mistake." Sira looked down. "I didn't come here, they left me." "Who?" the device asked in his voice. She touched the scar on her neck. "The Queen, my stepmother. She called me flawed, not good enough. So, they dropped me here to die." Adam's expression changed. His eyes narrowed and his jaw tightened. The smile was gone. Not anger at her, but for her. "That's wrong. You deserve better." Sira turned her face away. She didn't know what to say. She had never heard those words before. Then Adam stood. He offered his hand. "Come," he said, using her word. She looked at his hand. It was rough, strong, human. She had read about humans being wild, dangerous, deathworlders, but this one was gentle. After a pause, she took his hand. He helped her stand. She almost fell from weakness, but he held her steady. Adam led her inside his ship. It smelled of metal and strange oils, but it was warm. Small lights blinked on the walls. Machines hummed. She sat on a cushioned seat as the door closed behind her. He handed her a mug with hot liquid. It was bitter, but it made her chest feel alive again. Then he walked to the control panel and began typing. The ship's systems came online. Sira asked, "Where are we going?" The translator answered, "Anywhere but here, somewhere safe." She nodded. "Thank you." As the engines powered up, something outside the window caught Adam's eye. He zoomed in with a camera drone. A small black dot hovered in the air, then zipped away at high speed. His face darkened. He walked over to her and gently pulled the metal ring from her wrist. The tracker. He scanned it. "Damn," he muttered. The translator device spoke. "This has a beacon. You were being tracked." Sira's heart sank. "Then, they know I'm with you?" Adam nodded. "Yes, and they might come." He walked to a hidden locker and pulled out a long case. Inside were weapons, earth-made tools, sleek and deadly. He took one and clipped it to his side. Then he turned to her. "I won't let them take you, I don't care who they are." Sira stared at him. "Why? You don't even know me." Adam looked straight into her eyes. "You were abandoned. You were left to die. That makes you just like every other human, survivor I've ever known, and we don't leave our own behind." Sira didn't speak. Her throat tightened, her eyes burned. For the first time since childhood, tears fell down her cheeks, but not from sadness. From relief. The ship lifted off, breaking through the low clouds of the cursed moon. Stars blinked into view. Somewhere, far behind, Queen Varix would soon realize Sira was not dead, and when she came to erase her mistake once again, she would find a human standing in the way. The stars looked peaceful from the window of Adam's ship. Endless lights, quiet space, but peace was an illusion. Inside the ship, Sira sat in a soft chair, wrapped in her blanket, holding a cup of warm human liquid. Adam said it was called tea. She didn't know the word, but it calmed her. Still, her hands wouldn't stop shaking. She wasn't afraid of Adam anymore. She was afraid of the people who might come after him now. Because of her. Adam sat at the control desk, pressing buttons and checking systems. His eyes were sharp, focused. The tracker from her wrist now floated inside a clear tube sealed and cut off, but the damage had already been done. "They'll come looking," Sira said softly. Adam didn't turn. "I know." She looked out the window again. "Maybe I should leave. Go out on a pod. You'll be safe." Adam glanced over his shoulder. "You think I'm scared of them?" Sira paused. "They're royal assassins, trained to kill quietly." Adam gave a small smile. "Then they've never met a human from Earth?" A few hours later, as the ship passed through a field of asteroids, Sira noticed something strange. A deep vibration in the floor. It was almost like someone was following. She walked up to the front. "Do you feel that?" Adam nodded. "Yeah, I've been watching." He tapped the screen. 3 red dots blinked behind their position. "Ships?" she asked. "Stealth ships," Adam said. "Cloaked, quiet, but not invisible to old Earth tech." Sira felt her breath stop. "They're here. Already?" Adam turned on the ship's defense scanner. "Looks like they don't want to shoot us. Not yet. They're waiting. Probably want to grab you alive." "I'm sorry," she whispered. "They only want me. If I go, they'll leave you." Adam turned sharply. "No," he said. "If I give you to them, I might as well throw away every life I ever saved. I don't run from bullies, especially royal ones." Sira looked at him, really looked at him. He had no armor, no bodyguards, no ships behind him, just one human, facing an empire. Adam pulled the ship down into a gas cloud. Colors swirled, purple, orange, blue. A beautiful hiding place, but also dangerous. "Won't this damage your ship?" Sira asked. Adam laughed. "It already is. But they won't. Follow here. Most aliens avoid this zone." "Why?" He flicked a switch. "Because only Deathworlders are crazy enough to fly through acid clouds and lightning storms." The ship trembled. Static danced on the hull. But inside it stayed steady. Sira held onto the edge of the seat, her heart pounding. When they came out the other side, the red dots were gone. For now. Later that night, while Adam repaired the damage, to the lower deck, Sira explored the ship. It was small, with 2 beds, 1 kitchen area, and lots of strange human things. Photos on the wall. Notes in a language she couldn't read. She opened one locker and found a tiny box with her name written. On it inside was her necklace. She gasped. It was the same necklace she had worn as a baby. A soft metal ring with 3 glowing stones. She thought it was lost forever. "How did you?" she asked as Adam walked in. He looked confused. Sira held up the necklace. "This. It's mine." Adam frowned. "I didn't put that in there." They both stared at it. The stones began to glow slowly, then faster. The light pulsed in sync with the mark on her neck. Sira's hand flew to her scar. It was shining. The same curved symbol on her skin now appeared on the wall behind her, projected by the necklace. Symbols floated around them. Ancient alien writing, a map, a star, a structure shaped like a crown. "What is that?" Adam asked, eyes wide. I don't know, Sierra whispered. But I think it's calling to me. Adam scanned the projection. The map showed a location, an ancient place floating in deep space, far beyond royal borders, and at the center of it all, something called the Star Relic. Adam stared. I've heard of that. Alien tech lost for centuries. Said to be able to control energy, even rebuild planets. Sierra touched the glowing symbol in the air. I think this is why she marked me as flawed. She was hiding me, or hiding this. Adam nodded. Then we know where to go. But before they could prepare for the journey, the alarm rang. The away red dots were back, closer. And this time, they were broadcasting a message. Give us the girl, or both of you die in space. Adam clenched his fists. Sierra stepped beside him. No, she said. We go to the relic. We fight. I'm done running. Adam had never seen a royal ship move like this before. 3 black vessels cut through space like sharks in water, silent, sharp, and waiting to strike. They weren't chasing anymore. They were circling, like predators testing their prey. Inside the cockpit, Sierra stood beside him, her glowing necklace floating in the air, projecting symbols and maps in soft blue light. The mark on her neck burned like fire, but it didn't hurt. It called to something. Far away, something buried in the stars. Adam tapped the glass. This is ancient tech, older than most empires. Sierra nodded. And it's waking up because of me. Hours earlier, when Sierra first touched the necklace, it responded as if it recognized her. The ship's systems began to flicker. Lights dimmed. A low humming filled the air, like the sound of deep space breathing. From the necklace, a map appeared. It pointed to a dead zone near the galactic edge, a region marked unstable by most travelers, but the necklace ignored danger. It pulsed over a small gray planet orbiting a dying blue star. At the center was a name, the Star Relic. Sierra spoke softly. This is what she feared. The Queen. Adam looked at her. What is it? I don't fully know, Sierra replied. But my birthmark, it matches the symbol on the relic's crown. I think only people with this mark can activate it. And your stepmother tried to erase you, Adam said. Because you were the only one who could use it. Sierra nodded. She didn't want a challenge to her throne, so she called me flawed. But the truth is, I was chosen. Suddenly the lights turned red. Adam jumped to the control panel. They've locked weapons. We have 10 seconds. Sierra didn't hesitate. Fly toward the relic, she said. Now. Adam's eyes widened. It's not on the map. The engines might overload. Do it, she said. If I die today, I want to die fighting for my truth, not hiding from hers. Adam didn't argue. He gritted his teeth, turned the ship's nose toward the gray coordinates and hit the thrusters. Behind them, the royal ships launched plasma spears, fiery beams slicing through space. But Adam's ship darted through asteroid, fields ducking behind frozen space rocks, spinning between magnetic mines. Sierra held onto the rail as the ship rattled and burned through its fuel. The royal ships followed, but slower. They were bigger, heavier. Adam smirked. They're too proud to admit they can't fly like Earth pilots. After hours of deadly flying, the stars cleared, and there it was. The Star Relic. Floating in orbit above the gray world, shaped like a massive wheel of gold and crystal, it spun slowly. Silent. Waiting. Its shape was not like any normal station. No hangars, no doors. Only a single glowing platform in the center, where 5 long towers reached upward like open fingers. It looked like a giant hand, calling for someone to complete the grip. Sierra's scar began to pulse brighter. I feel it, she said. It knows I'm here. Adam slowed the ship and aligned it with the only visible landing pad. As they touched down, the entire station came to life. Lights crawled across the structure. Walls shifted. The old systems awoke after centuries. Sierra stepped out first. The metal beneath her feet warmed with every step. Adam followed, his hand on his sidearm, just in case. Then the towers began to speak, not with sound, but with memory. Sira gasped. A flash entered her mind. She saw a woman, tall, glowing, beautiful, wearing a golden crown with the same mark as hers. The woman stood before millions of people holding a small child in her arms. "My daughter will carry the relic's code," she said, "even if the future kings try to erase her." Then the memory shattered. Sira stumbled. Adam caught her. "What happened?" She looked at him, tears in her eyes. "That woman, she was my real mother." Adam was quiet. "I was born to be the keeper of the star relic," Sira said. "But when she died, the new queen, the one who raised me, must have tried to erase everything, including me." Adam's voice was soft. "But she didn't succeed. You're here. The relic still remembers you." The towers reached their highest point. A beam of light rose from the center, creating a circle in the sky. A deep voice echoed inside both their heads. "Blood matched. Authority confirmed. The relic awaits the flame bearer." Sira looked around. "What is the flame bearer?" But before the relic could answer, the sky exploded. The royal ships had arrived. Lasers rained down on the landing pad. Sira and Adam ran behind the towers as energy blasts shattered the surface. Adam fired back with human weapons, smoke bombs, mini rockets, but they were outnumbered. Sira yelled, "We have to activate it now." She ran toward the glowing center. The royal assassins landed. Dark armor, no faces, only shadows and death. They moved like ghosts, fast and silent. One aimed at Sira, but Adam dove in the way, taking the shot to his armor. He groaned, hit the ground, but raised his gun again. "Keep going." Sira reached the heart of the relic. The platform lifted her into the air. Her body floated. Her mark burned like a sun, and then a voice spoke from within her. "Will you unlock the truth even if it shatters empires?" She whispered, "Yes." The relic exploded with light. All around the galaxy, hidden royal records opened. Messages long erased, lies uncovered, videos showing Sira's birth, the Queen's betrayal, the truth about the scar. Billions watched, and billions believed. Far away, in the royal palace, Queen Varix watched the screen. Her face turned pale. Her lie was undone. And now, her flawed stepdaughter had become something much more dangerous than a princess. She had become a symbol, a threat, a flame that would not go out. The galaxy didn't sleep that night. Screens lit up across planets. Holograms flickered in city skies. Starships paused mid-flight. Traders, warriors, scholars, even royals stared in silence. One message had reached them all, not a threat, not a warning, but the truth. A hidden child, a buried bloodline, a stolen throne, and the girl they thought was flawed was real. Inside Adam's ship, Sira sat quietly, wrapped in a clean robe. Her scar no longer glowed, but something else inside her did. She wasn't trembling anymore. She wasn't hiding. The star relic had shown her the truth, her real mother. The words meant, for her, the moment she was chosen, she had not been cursed. She had been protected. Across the galaxy, many were beginning to question the Queen, and Queen Varix was watching all of it burn. At the royal palace, the throne room was cold and silent. Queen Varix stood before a massive galactic screen. Her teeth clenched. Her advisors whispered behind her, "This could break the throne. The people are restless. She has the relic and the bloodline." The Queen raised her hand, silencing them all. "She has a voice, that's all," Varix said sharply. "I still have the fleet." But even she knew something had changed. Lies once accepted had become cracks, and cracks spread. Back on Adam's ship, thousands of messages flooded in. Some offered help. Others asked for proof. A few begged for Sira to return and take the crown. Adam looked at her. "What do you want to do?" Sira was silent for a moment. Then she stood up and faced him. I don't want the crown. I want to finish what my mother started. Adam raised an eyebrow. And what's that? Sira stepped forward. Her eyes were no longer afraid. To give power back to the people, not the throne. They made a plan. Adam had contacts on the outer systems. Pirates, rebels, outcasts. People who hated the royal family for their own reasons. One by one, they answered Adam's call. Soon, Sira was speaking to leaders from across space, beings of all kinds. She shared data from the relic, evidence of cover-ups, video records, history that had been erased. People listened, because Sira didn't speak like a ruler. She spoke like a survivor. But Queen Varix was not finished. She summoned her elite unit. Though silencers, warriors trained not to fight battles, but to erase them before they began. They never left witnesses. Their orders were clear. Find the girl. Kill the human. Burn the evidence. Sira was preparing for her next transmission when the warning came. A rebel scout screamed through the comms. Silencers inbound. Drop everything. They're coming fast. Adam didn't wait. He grabbed weapons, emergency drives, and loaded them into his ship's core. Sira looked at him. We can't run again. I'm not running, Adam said. I'm sending something. He slammed the transmit button and uploaded the relic's entire data to hundreds of systems. The truth would now live forever, even if they didn't. Then, the lights went out. The ship shook. A hole burned through the sidewall. Smoke filled the cabin. Sira coughed. Adam pushed her toward the back room. Stay hidden, he shouted, but she didn't move. She pulled off her robe and revealed a small metal badge from the relic, embedded now in her chest. It glowed softly. Let them come, she said. Let them see who I really am. The silencers entered. 6, in total. No faces, no words. Only black armor and silent death. They surrounded her. Adam stepped in front. You'll have to kill me first. One aimed. But then, something unexpected happened. The badge on Sira's chest pulsed. The lights bent. The air shimmered. The silencers paused. Then one of them dropped his weapon. He looked at Sira and kneeled. Blood of the first flame, he whispered. Forgive me. Adam blinked. Did he just... Sira stepped forward. You were told I was a lie. Now you see the truth. Another silencer dropped her weapon. Then another. 3 remained. Their leader raised his blaster, shaking. Adam lifted. His gun. Don't. But Sira stepped in front of Adam. The silencer fired. The blast hit her chest, directly where the badge was. The light exploded out. Not fire. Not death. Memory. It hit the silencers like thunder. Their armor cracked. Their minds filled with visions, memories from long ago, of the old queen, of peace, of honor. The leader dropped to his knees. She was real. We were lied to. Silence filled the ship. The battle had ended before it even began, not by force, not by death, but by truth. Now everywhere across the stars, change was rising. People were asking, what if the royals lied to us before? What else did they hide? Who is Sira really? Sira didn't call herself queen. She didn't wear a crown. But her name was now being chanted on worlds she had never seen. And the queen. She sat in her palace, surrounded by fading walls, knowing her worst fear had come true. The flawed girl she cast aside had become a legend. The galaxy was burning with questions. Who is the girl with the scar of flame? How did she awaken the star relic? Why are royal warriors kneeling? And most of all, what is Queen Varix going to do now? Inside her palace, Queen Varix stood alone before her private mirror. Her golden crown looked heavier today. Her eyes, once cold and sharp, now trembled. Not with fear of war, but of losing control, her advisors begged her to speak to the people, tell them it's false information, that she's an actor, a copy. Blame Earth, say it's a human trick. But Varix had stopped listening. She walked past the throne and down the golden spiral staircase, into the shadows, into the vault. There, sealed behind heavy doors, was the last weapon of the old queens, an ancient battlesuit, once worn by her predecessor, Sira's mother. It responded only to royal blood. Varix pressed her palm to the lock. The suit came alive. At the star relic, the sky was not calm anymore. Multiple warships had jumped into orbit, not pirates, not rebels. The Royal Armada, 10 massive destroyers, 30 escort fighters, a full siege force. Adam watched from the ship's deck as the sky turned red with shields and cannons. He turned to Sira. "They brought an entire fleet for you." Sira stared through the glass. "No, not for me." She touched her badge. "They're here for the truth." She turned to the screen and activated the public channel. Billions could hear her now. Her voice was steady. "I am not here to take a throne. I am not here to start a war. But I will not run anymore. The relic knows me. The truth lives in me. And if the queen wants to bury it again, she'll have to kill me first." The screen cut. The silence was heavy. Then Adam laughed. That should get their attention. Suddenly, the royal destroyers began to move. One aimed at the relic. Another opened its hangar. Troops were coming. Adam pulled out a data chip from his jacket. "Time to wake our friends." He plugged it into the ship's console. Moments later, holograms of rebel leaders appeared. Aliens, humans, hybrids, warriors from every corner of space. Sira spoke quickly. "The Armada is here. I don't ask you to fight for me. I ask you to fight for yourselves. For truth. For the voices that were never heard." They didn't answer with words. They answered with ships. Hundreds blinked into space. Cloaked cruisers, pirate frigates, Earth gunships. A rebel fleet was forming. Down on the surface of the relic, Sira stood at the edge of the glowing platform. The wind around her was rising. The towers of the relic spun faster. The badge on her chest had fused into her skin now, part of her. Beside her, Adam loaded the final rounds into his rifle. "They'll come straight for you," he said. "I know. Then let's make them regret that." Then the Queen arrived. Her personal flagship dropped from hyperspace like a falling star. It slammed into the upper orbit, sending shockwaves through the area. The sides opened, and Queen Varix stepped out, wearing the battle crown armor. Black gold, burning lines, a blade shaped like a comet in her hand. She didn't come to speak. She came to end this with her own hands. She descended alone to the relic. No guards, no advisors. Just fury. Sira waited, standing at the heart of the relic. When the Queen stepped onto the platform, both badges glowed. Sira's on her chest, Varix's embedded in the armor. Only one would be accepted. Only one had truth in her blood. "You were a child born of weakness," Varix said coldly. "Your mother doomed this empire." By placing her trust in blood instead of strength, Sira didn't flinch. "You call that strength? Lying, killing? Throwing away a girl because you were scared of her?" Varix raised her blade. "You could have stayed quiet. You could have lived small." "I wasn't made to live small," Sira said, "and I wasn't made to be silent." The relic pulsed. The sky turned white. The fight began. Varix charged like a storm. Her armor crackled with old energy. Her strikes were sharp, fast, deadly. But Sira didn't run. The relic lifted her into the air. It gave her no armor, but it gave her light. Every step she took, the platform bent to protect her. Every strike she blocked, the wind moved with her hands. She wasn't fighting with power. She was fighting with truth. And the relic chose a side. The battle lit up the sky. Rebel ships clashed with the Armada. Adam led the defense cannons targeting incoming fighters. One by one, the rebels pushed forward. Not because they had stronger weapons, but because they believed in the girl who stood alone against a queen. Sira and Varix collided in the air, blade against brilliance, lie against legacy. Then Sira reached out, not to strike, but to touch the queen's badge. The moment her fingers met the armor, the relic glowed brighter than ever before. A voice echoed through every speaker, every screen, every ship. The flame has been tested, and the flame has survived. Varex's armor cracked, Syrah's mark burned like a second sun, and the queen was thrown to the ground, defeated, not by force, but by a girl she tried to erase. The battle ended. The royal ships retreated. One by one, they turned away, choosing not to die for a crown that had already fallen. Syrah stood at the top of the relic tower, tired, burned, but alive. She looked down at the fleet, rebels, humans, ex-royals, and she didn't see an army. She saw a future, one not ruled by blood, but by truth. The queen lay broken, her armor cracked, her blade gone, her crown fallen. Around her, the star relic glowed softly like a heartbeat slowing down. It had no more fire to release, no more warnings to shout. It had done its part. Syrah stepped down from the upper ring of the platform. Her robes were torn. Her body shook. But she walked. With her head high, Adam rushed to her, past the royal guards who had dropped their weapons the moment Varex fell. He wrapped a blanket around her shoulders and helped her sit near a glowing pillar. "You did it," he whispered. Syrah looked at him. "No," she said. "We did it." Above them, the rebel fleet spread out across orbit, watching in silence. The Royal Armada, what remained of it, stayed motionless. No more shots, no more orders. Only silence. Across the galaxy, every screen was still broadcasting. No one dared turn it off. Billions watched the scene, expecting one thing: a new queen. But Syrah surprised them all. She walked alone to the edge of the platform and stood under the starlight, bruised and scarred. The translator drone floated beside her as she spoke, broadcasting her voice to every planet, station, and ship. "I was thrown away because of a scar I didn't choose. I was told I was broken. I was told I would never lead. And yet, I stand here, not because of power, but because someone chose to believe I was more than my mark, a human. One man who saw me as a person, not a problem. And now the whole galaxy has seen what truth can do." She looked toward the fallen queen, who lay conscious but silent. Then Syrah continued, "I will not sit on the throne that hurt so many. I will not wear the crown soaked in lies. But I will build something new. Something where no child is left to die alone on a moon. Something where humans and aliens do more than survive. They rise. Together." There was no cheering. No shouts, only silence. And then, one by one, ships in orbit turned on their signal lights, flashing them in silent agreement. A blue flash from Earth's fleet, a red spark from the rebel frigates. Gold, green, silver, across the stars, colors lit up like a galaxy celebrating itself. Not a new empire, not a queen, a beginning. Over the next few weeks, everything changed. The royal court collapsed. Without Varex, the corrupt chains broke apart. Some of the governors were arrested. Some fled. Others came forward with confessions and offers to help the new cause. Adam and Syrah traveled together across space, speaking to broken colonies, abandoned, people, forgotten species not as rulers, as messengers. They told stories. They listened. They helped build again. And soon a council was formed. One not of nobles but of voices from many worlds. One seat for every kind of being, human, alien, machine. And at the center sat an empty chair, carved with the mark of the Yao, flame, saved for whoever needed it most. Syrah became a legend, but she never called herself one. She slept in the same room as the crew, ate the same food as everyone else. And often, when no one was watching, she would stand at the window of the ship and whisper thanks to the stars, thanks to her mother, thanks to the scar, thanks to the human who found her. One night, under the glow of twin moons, Adam and Syrah sat on a rocky hill on a world recovering from war. "I still remember the first time I saw you," Adam said. Syrah smiled. "I thought you were going to shoot me. I thought you were going to bite me." They both laughed. Then Sira became quiet. You never asked me for anything, she said. Not a reward, not a favor. Adam shrugged. I didn't save you for a reward, then why? He looked at her with those same kind eyes. Because you were human to me. Maybe not in body, but in heart. Sira blinked. Her silver scar shimmered in the moonlight. Do you think we'll always be fighting? Adam looked up at the stars. Maybe, but not the same fight. The next ones will be different, smarter, kinder because of what you started. In the years that followed, the relic remained where it was, untouched, except for those who came seeking guidance. It had become a symbol, a place where stories were born. Poets called it the heart of the flame, and children on Earth and Nerexa both grew up learning the same story. A girl with a scar, a queen without love, a human who saw value in someone the galaxy threw away, and how truth burned brighter than any crown. Some say Sira vanished years later, walking into the stars with Adam and never returning. Others believe she still lives in disguise, helping people in secret. But no matter the story, everyone remembers her name, not as queen, not as savior, but as the flawed one who rose.